What? Good everybody, my name is Mac and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today, the new chapter for Stranger Things just released with a Demogorgon and 2 survivors. It was a $12 DLC and I figured today, since I don't have that much time, I wanted to kind of just make a video about the patch notes that came along with the new Stranger Things DLC and all the content and features that came along with it. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, before we start, always again, slap the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I should be having some gameplay coming up on the channel about this chapter and the features later on the later date. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go over the patch notes and kind of have an overview about what it all is. So briefly, I'm going to kind of go through the new content on the news page. You can also find this in your own game if you launch Dead by Daylight. I think everybody pretty much has this knowledge already, but we're going to go ahead and breathe through it right now. It was the early 1980s, a time of walkie-talkies, a time of secret experience, a time of Stranger Things. In the small Midwestern town of Hawkins, Indiana, a classified government experiment goes awry, opening a rift and unleashing a creature into the world that turns the lives of its residents upside down. Nancy Wheeler and Steve Harrington investigate the Hawkins National Laboratory, but somehow end up in a strange realm with the sound of a familiar roar echoing through the air. The Stranger Things chapter includes the items and perks and boasts 2 new survivors, Nancy Wheeler and Steve Harrington, along with their longtime nemesis, the monstrous Demogorgon. Available to all players also is a new map, the Underground Complex. The chance of being sent to the Underground Complex will be increased with the first week of the release. Please note that there wouldn't be a delay between the Stranger Things characters being available via our in-game store, the full DLC package, which doesn't actually matter because as of right now, they both are launched. And we also remind you that these purchases are non-refundable, which of course makes sense. Also added is the new collection called the Upside Down Collection, bringing some very popular outfits from the 2 characters from Stranger Things. So the little description says Stranger Things happening in the realm of the entity. The Upside Down Collection features Nancy's business cool outfit and Steve's Scoops Ahoy outfit and a Demogorgon unlike anything you've ever experienced. Monster times await. Now I know for sure that this Scoops Ahoy outfit was really anticipated by the community, which is pretty interesting. We got a little dev message. I believe it's an undetectable. This is 2 newest status effects have been added to the game. Undetectable, the killer status effect. This is the first killer status effect since Bloodlust. Undetectable consolidates our killer stealth mechanics into one easily understandable status that can be applied through killer powers, perks, and add-ons. When a killer is undetectable, the following effects are applied. The killer's terror radius is removed, and the killer's red stain is removed. The killer will not have their aura revealed, and the killer does not trigger the jump scare sound effect. The killer will also see the smoky screen visual effect. It says also, as with most of our status effects, the undetectable icon will appear on the right hand side of the screen. With a new chapter releases, player will have an opportunity to experience the status effect for the first time with a new killer. We intend to roll out the status effect to other existing powers, perks, and add-ons were relevant in upcoming chapter and mid-chapter release. You also got the Oblivious status effect, which is a survivor status effect, and it applies to unfortunate survivors that have no understanding that the killer's nearby. When survivor is oblivious, the following effects are applied. The survivor does not hear the killer's terror radius, and the survivor is not affected by any effects that are conditional to being inside of a terror radius. Being oblivious makes survivors completely ignorant of a killer in close proximity, but at the same time, they also ignore the effects of chlorophobia, unnerving presence, infectious fright, and other terror radius perks. As with the undetectable status, survivors will have the opportunity to experience this effect when playing against the new killer in the upcoming chapter release, which is right now. It says following this we will include oblivious and other powers, perks, and add-ons in later patches. Of course, they gotta expand the mechanics and the status effects in this game to be able to make more killers and stuff like that. Now we're gonna go through briefly the patch notes. The patch notes are pretty lengthy, but we're gonna kind of glance over and go over the more important stuff, and I'm gonna give kind of my opinions on what they kind of changed. So as for the features, they added 2 new status effects we've already kind of went over. As for content, they added the Demogorgon, Nancy Wheeler, Steve Harrington, which we've already gone over, and they also added a brand new map, which is a pretty cool map in my opinion. Then we got the party management and friends list. Now I, for the most part, agree with these changes, but part of me also has some complaints, which I'll also go over with my opinions. Maybe you guys will also agree with. So anyways, for the party management and friends list, it says merge the survive with friends grouping functionality into play as survivor flow. The friends list says also see who's online and invite them to play or request to join an existing party, all from within the game. The in-game notifications, like the notifications for incoming invites, requests to join, and players joining, leaving your party. So they added some in-game notifications. Since survivor parties now stay together between games, no need to re-invite after each match. Now they did some more balance updates. You guys can go ahead and kind of read them for yourselves. I think I'll read the Nightmare, but for the miscellaneous and stuff, art changes, you guys can kind of read them for yourself. This is for the Nightmare. They now apply the Oblivious stats effect to the survivors when he brings them into the dream world. Again, it kind of makes sense for his power and ability, but since then they also remain oblivious for the entire duration that they spend in the dream world. This is indicated to survivors by the stats effect icon, obviously on the right hand side of the screen. This change makes it so that the Nightmare has a constant 32-meter terror radius. However, survivors do not hear it when they are in the dream world. Survivors still hear the Nightmare's lullaby when they are in the dream world. However, they are no longer affected by the terror radius-based conditions for perks. Again, we've kind of went over that too. It says, as a survivor, you do not hear the killer's terror radius, and you are considered to be within. Because you are not considered to be within the killer's terror radius. So you got miscellaneous stuff. Actually, no, the miscellaneous is kind of important. Like it says, they increase the amount of perks available in the player's bloodlip starting level 40. They added a couple more score events, and they also added a new glow to survivors' health bars when bleeding out, carried, and you're being hooked. And it's supposed to help indicate that the health bar depletion is paused. Also adjusted some other things like that. Art changes, perk changes. You can also read these as I'm kind of scrolling through. Bug fixes. I doubt people are really caring about the bug fixes. You can kind of read the patch notes down below. It should be in the description below. We got more perk changes, more miscellaneous stuff, and more audio localization fixes and changes from the PTB, which I don't really think I cared too much about what happened between the PTB, because what matters is the patch notes now. So yeah, we're also going to show you guys kind of what they changed overall. So the menu, as you can see, they combined the survivor with friends and the play as survivor, which normally for me wouldn't be a big deal if they haven't done what they kind of done with the party system. But overall, this seems pretty much well and nice. I'm just going to now go into what I think about certain features and stuff like that. So when you go to play as survivor, you've got your little party system. You got your little button here that when you click it, it brings up all of your Steam friends in a nice Dead by Daylight themed UI. Looks really good, really cool. Functionality is great. I really like how they allow you now to stay in the party and that you don't have to keep re-inviting everybody every time the match ends. That's pretty solid. But here's what I don't like. This back here is what I don't like, and from everybody I've talked to, nobody seems to like this either. These silhouettes are like probably the most ugly thing that I've ever seen. I talked about it with my PTB video. I just do not like these silhouettes. They look still, they look ugly, they do not match the game at all. They stick out like a sore thumb, and they just ruin the entire background of this menu. I want them to remove this so bad. I criticized it in my last video, and I know a lot of other people who criticized it too. It disappoints me that they have this. Other people were personally saying that they would rather them just keep the plus sign for invite a friend, but then to just remove the silhouettes. But I'm actually going to disagree on that one too. I think they need to remove the invite a friend plus sign and the silhouettes. None of this stuff is actually needed. You have your friends button up down at the bottom left hand corner. So for me, it's like having all of this UI here is just taking up screen space, making everything a little bit more overwhelming. It's just an ugly look for the game. Another feature I just do not like that they removed is the switch role features that they used to give you. Now they kind of force you to keep going back and forth between survivor, the main menu, and the killer, which is not fun. It actually makes the whole thing clunky and feel very rushed and not smooth at all. It's actually like a hassle or a chore to do that, which I'm really upset that they removed that. I want them to add that back. And also, what kind of I do not like about this update is that they didn't iron out any of the stuttering and problems that a lot of this menu UI has. It won't happen consistently, but for example, a moment like right now, that was not a smooth transition. It took forever, it was slow, it was clunky. I also have other moments where I would click the back arrow and it doesn't move at all. It takes like seconds before anything happens, so I have to like spam click the back arrow for me to actually transition throughout the menu and stuff like that. So the party feature for the most part is good. They need to remove the silhouettes, remove the plus signs, and they need to add back the switch roles, and they need to iron out a lot of this menu performance bugs. Now I think for the last part about this video, I'm going to pretty much show that's kind of worth mentioning. It's going to be the cosmetics. I'm pretty sure everybody now has kind of seen the gameplay for the Demogorgon, the Survivor gameplay. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about all the perks and stuff for information. But what I'm going to go ahead and show you guys is the new cosmetics that came out for these new characters too. This was a highly anticipated one. It's called Scoops Ahoy. It's a Steve, I think, Harrington cosmetic. People were really excited about this. People already saying they're going to main this character, which is not surprising. It looks pretty fantastic if you ask me. And it's a really cool outfit, and it's very unique in the whole realm of the entity and the lore of the game. It's an interesting outfit, one of the ones that definitely stand out a little bit more. As for more characters, we also got Nancy Wheeler. She has her own outfit. It's called the Business 85 outfit. Definitely gives you a whole new look. Makes your, in my opinion, look better. I like your hair a lot more with this outfit. But this is also another outfit that came out for the DLC that you can also get. If you guys want to see gameplay on the Demogorgon from a previous PTB, go ahead and check out the video in the description or at the end of this video. There should be my other Stranger Things Demogorgon video that you can click on. It's like a part of a pop-up on the screen. So you can definitely do that. But pretty much it. We kind of read over the patch notes, reviewed, and kind of gave my opinion at least on a lot of the new features and stuff like that. You obviously have the new features that I haven't really shown, which is technically that after level 40 you get more than one you get one more additional option or perk you can get from the blood web. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, so I don't really think I have to really go over that. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today's video. Again, I apologize for not having any gameplay up for today. I'm sure you guys can go find a ton of awesome creators out there to watch some gameplay, and I will definitely put out more gameplay of the chapter soon. But as of right now, I really don't have much upgrade for these characters. I just got the chapter now. I do not have time today. So if you guys do enjoy the video, don't forget to slap the like button, subscribe to the channel. All support's appreciated. And yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Mac, and I guess I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace out.